will be tempted by the dark side.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So, big Star Wars 7 update. They just announced casting for 7 new roles, and I have a list here that I'll read off that'll tell you a little bit about what they're going to be doing in the movie. Late female, independent, good sense of humor, fit. Young 20-something male, witty and smart, fit but not traditionally good looking. A late 20-something male, fit, handsome and confident. 70-something male with strong opinions and a tough demeanor, also doesn't need to be particularly fit. A second young female, also late teens, tough, smart, and fit. 40-something male, fit, military type. 30-something male, intellectual, apparently doesn't need to be fit. So a lot of people think that those two late teenage characters are actually the Solo twins, Jason and Jaina, the Jedi twins from the expanded universe. I'm actually inclined to believe that they're not going to be including a lot of expanded universe material in the movie. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but now let's talk about some of the other characters. So remember, in the original Star Wars trilogy, Luke Skywalker was a teenager in the first film. I think he was about 18. Somebody might be able to correct me on this, but basically this is a movie for kids, not like the George Lucas prequels, as they were for like really little kids. But this is going to be a really young cast, with a few exceptions. That means that a lot of these 20 somethings and teenage characters will probably either be Jedi trainees or just Jedi hopefuls who have an affinity for the Force and are looking to become Jedis. So we already know that this movie is going to take place after the events of the Battle of Endor, and it's going to take place inside this universe that George Lucas created, despite what they might change about the story. So even if they do use some of the expanded universe content, it's not going to be like Star Trek, where J.J. Abrams just completely rebooted the series with another prequel. If you think about it that way, that old character is probably a Jedi Master, the 70-something character. That means that this group of people, at least a few of them, are actually going to be cast together as a group. That's not necessarily true, but it makes sense thematically, especially if they're trying to film a lot of scenes with those characters together. They want to get them on set as soon as possible, just so they can see how their chemistry works together. Remember, they're starting to film in early 2014, so they actually will probably have most of the cast by the end of the year. And if you think about it, in this George Lucas universe, logically, even if they don't include the events after the expanded universe started spinning out stories, logically, Luke Skywalker would still be trying to rebuild the Jedi Order. Raise your hand if you think we're going to see Luke Skywalker inside a holocron. That's right, even though they've signed the original cast to come back, that doesn't mean that they're going to appear on set. I'm guessing that that 40-something character is not going to be a Jedi. He's going to take the place that Han Solo would occupy in the story, and they're probably going to try and groom him for this new trilogy. Hopefully he'll be just as good of a scoundrel as Harrison Ford was. I'm also guessing that that other character will be a politician just because it describes him as being very smart and out of shape, and that kind of describes most politicians. One of the strange things about this, though, is the absence of any female adult characters. Remember, this is a J.J. Abrams movie, and most of his movies, even though they might be really nostalgic and wistful, always end up being really positive in the end. Think of Super 8. Even though it was a little bit dark and a little bit depressing at times, it ended on a really positive note. So I think that's what this Star Wars movie is going to be like. It's not going to be a really awful, depressing movie. You're going to walk away feeling very hopeful about the series. When we get back to the subject of expanded universe stories, I get a little skeptical, just because when you start working in other writers' stories or working with characters that were created by other people, you start to get a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and movie studios and directors like to keep things as simple as possible. So we could totally see some expanded universe characters like Mara Jade or the Solo twins in the movie, but it's a really small chance. But let me know what you think. Are we going to see the Solo twins? Are we going to see any expanded universe content? I don't think we're going to see Thrawn, but let me know what you think. Just right below in the comments. I think Michael Arndt is a really great writer, and J.J. Abrams is really good at making movies. So whatever ends up happening, I'm really hopeful about the movie, and I'm excited to see it. I don't think it'll be too gratuitous, and even though J.J. Abrams has said many times that he doesn't play for fans, I do think there'll be a lot of Easter eggs that everyone can enjoy. So I'll be posting casting updates and spoilers as they come along. They'll be doing that for the rest of this year as they start filming in early 2014. Be sure to subscribe to get all those videos. It's going to be really exciting finding out how this movie is going to unfold. And once we learn about the cast, we can start to guess about the kind of story that they're trying to craft. In the meantime, I just posted a big update for the 50 Shades of Grey movie. Even if you're not a total pervert, you should check it out. Click here to watch it, or you can click here to watch my first Legend of Korra Book 2 video. I'll be doing videos for that all year too, so get excited. Thanks for watching. High fives!